used as a social repository for all our ills, but the corruption in terms of prosecutions is also very shameful.
Why do you think that is? Is it down to statistics? They've got to do this, they've got to do that, and it looks good if they're solving crime, so they're twisting it to do it. It's actually backfiring now, clearly. Yeah, but I think there must be an element, and that is why they pick on dirty number plates and such like, having been the victim of that.
Everybody will go for the low-hanging fruit, won't they? And the police are no different. They just want to be able to get their statistics, get their numbers up, prove that they're worth what they're worth. They don't need to do that, because I think we all appreciate that the police do a good job for the most part. I mean, I don't think there is a better police force anywhere in the world than the police force that run this country, that operate in this country. I certainly wouldn't like to be a victim of the Spanish police, who seem to be a bunch of thugs, from what I can understand.
Civil.
Yeah, I mean, my one little bit of exposure to them led me to believe that they are incredibly corrupt and just you don't want to get on the wrong side of them. The British police in general are okay. They're just having to do jobs that are not part of their equation, particularly with regard to mental health. We need to spend more money in this country on mental health. We need a sort of a secondary force that deals with people who have got mental health issues.
We've got that.
Mental health.
What's it called?
It's the Liberal Democrat Party.
The Liberal Democrat Party. Yeah. Well, it's a safe haven for the lunatics of this world. I'm one of them, I suspect.
Well, that's it. Most of them are. So there we go.
In Milton Keynes, by the way, in October they started a 3-month winter burglary operation. That's to prevent burglaries.
Yep.
To help combat and reduce residential burglaries and target offenders during the darker winter months. This is the 4th consecutive year Operation Dark Night has been run in Milton Keynes. It's proven to have significantly reduced the number of residential burglaries over the winter period. They've got a campaign going at Monkston, because there's been a lot of burglaries around there apparently, so they're putting signs up to warn burglars, don't come to this area because there's an operation in force, which I think is a bit silly, really.
It's very silly.
Okay, not Monkston today.
My sister was recently burgled, and she's in Loughton. Trish, she's down in Loughton.
There's been a lot
and there's been quite a few burglaries in that area. What the burglars are looking for these days is gold.
Yes.
Is that right?
Well, what they do is this gold for cash sort of.
Is that still going on? Stop that?
Yeah, no, that's still going on. So what you do is you go and do your burglary, you find whatever bits of gold you can, put them in a jiffy bag, send them off to gold for cash, and some money appears in your bank account, because they don't ask where the gold comes from. So it's a great way of earning money by robbing people. I was surprised when they broke into my house looking for gold, which they wouldn't have found any, except for they did. Well, there was one medallion that I got from Aston Martin's, which wasn't gold, it was silver, but they stole that. But there was things like iPhones hanging around and iPads. None of that was touched. Right. They're not interested in the traditional things that you would expect burglars to be interested in. It is basically jewellery, and that's it.
But lots of there's so much. You can get paranoid over this sort of thing, because it's the same as if you get burgled, the chances of you being, and they take away your television, for instance, the chances are you'll be re-burgled within sort of 6 weeks, because they know that you've got a new television.
Well, that's quite right. Yeah, that's quite right.
And it's also like, if you look in the back pages of the local newspapers, and it's got the deaths column, and then it'll say that the funeral will take place at 11 o'clock in the crematorium in Milton Keynes, blah blah blah, Tuesday the 15th. And burglars will read this, and then they will know that family is going to be out of the house for at least 3 or 4 hours because they'll be at the funeral, and it doesn't take them very long to get some intelligence about who other family members are, etc. And you come back from the funeral and you find that your front door's open, and most of your gold jewellery's gone that you weren't wearing when you went to the funeral. So there you go. Anyway, moving on, because we've only got about 10 minutes left, because Dave and Charlotte are coming in, and they'll be with you for their Decades programme later on. Incidentally, there is a good lineup of programmes for you over the Christmas period, actually, including the fact fact that tomorrow morning on the Hit or Miss show, which is a very, very popular show on CRMK on a Sunday morning, it's from 10 till 12, my old buddy, Mr. Bluffield, is going to be joining me, aren't you, sir, tomorrow?
I certainly am. I'm really looking forward to it too. Well, we got requests, haven't we, tomorrow?
We've got a lot of requests actually in for tomorrow, and
we're still going to do the show.
We're still going to do the show, yes. It's surprising, really. Two of the requests were, why don't you just stay in bed, but they were from nice people. This rather intrigued me, this business about here, because unless you plan to blast your ashes off into space or whatever, most of us will adopt for a simple burial or cremation when it comes to saying goodbye to our loved ones. But soon there could be another option in the pipeline, because a crematorium is hoping to be the first in the United Kingdom to dispose of the dead by liquefying them and flushing the dissolved matter down the drain. In the eco-friendly water cremation, the body is placed into a steel torpedo chamber where it is dissolved in an alkaline solution heated to 152 degrees centigrade. Rowley Regis Crematorium in the West Midlands is hoping to adopt the £300,000 technique already used in parts of the United States after being given planning permission by councillors. However, the scheme is being blocked by a water company, Severn Trent, which is refusing to grant a trade effluent permit. Bosses at the utility say the document only covers waste disposal, not dissolved bodies. However, Water UK, which represents the supplier, said that the public may also find the idea of human remains going into the water system distasteful. Oh, distasteful. Wrong word, isn't it? Had it been sort of April the 1st rather than December the 22nd or whatever, it's 23rd.
That's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would have said this was actually an April Fool joke, but... No, the founder, Sandy Sullivan, said he hoped the first water cremations would be around late spring next year. He's a 61-year-old biochemist, and he told the Sunday Times there's technically no reason why the liquid can't go down the drain. It's very treatable organic liquid. It's sterile and there's no DNA in it. We're just copying nature. The body dissolves by soil bacteria, and it's a very long process. All we're doing is taking the exact same chemistry and applying heat, which speeds it up. But, excuse me. I don't fancy that myself, do you?
No.
In a nutshell, yes, that's ended that conversation. Yeah. But no, it's strange that, I mean, we're all sort of turning our noses up at it and all the rest of it, but if you think about cremation, I mean, that's pretty horrendous as well, isn't it, really?
It's a very fuel... It's not a very sort of eco-friendly way of disposing of the body, really.
What?
Burning them. I mean, it creates a lot of...
well, yeah, but
waste products.
They've got massive filters and things like that on them, and
yeah.
they have a lot of checks on it all the way through for the pollution that goes out, and it's very, very well looked after, and that, so.
Anyway, just to step back to we were talking about the police, weren't we? I was just doing a bit of research. Do you know there were 3,000 allegations of police corruption last year?
No.
I kid you
3,000?
Yeah.
Not 2,999, but 3,000?
Over 3,000.
Now you see you're giving us the facts, the true facts and nothing but the facts.
So help me God.
A second report compiled by a serious organised crime agency bears out that a sharp increase over the past 5 years of the number of police officers dealing heroin, cocaine and amphetamines. And equally startling, the rise of the number of officers abusing their power for sexual gratification. In other words, bullying and cajoling witnesses and victims into inappropriate activities.
It's getting worse, isn't it?
Apparently 37 coppers and community support officers are on corruption charges in the past 2 years. So, I'm just reading this. This is coming from, my source on this is The Spectator.
I'll get a thing called Police Oracle that states all this sort of stuff, which is a police internal magazine.
And I think the Spectator is a pretty reputable publication.
Spectator.
And 73 police officers on corruption charges in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
Oh, no,
I mean, that's a worrying statistic.
And that's the ones they know about.
Yeah.
And in
That's
fact,
worrying.
one could say that there's 4 people here in the studio that could be done for corruption charges, really, isn't it? You know, track number
What is that then?
5. Okay, fine. That's it. I'm just doing a bit of work now for.
Oh, we've got decades coming up very shortly, haven't we?
Yeah, but you
Dave
see,
and Charlotte here.
I've got to put on their first CD. God, it's cold as well. I must have been in the car all night, you know. And
They don't always play, do they, when you put them in, because they get a bit moist, don't they?
do they?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they supposed to be moist when they go in?
Not really. No.
Oh, that must be something else.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Never mind. I think, gentlemen, I thank you for your company for this last 2 hours. You know, I'd love to say that I thoroughly enjoyed myself, but I was never born to tell lies. So I will wish
It's not
you
very
all.
nice, is it?
It's not meant to be nice.
Oh, okay.
I told you. I'm just fed up with being nice for you
Yeah,
guys.
really, really horrible.
I bought in the Sarama house. I bought in the champagne this morning as well, and you
But it's
refused
not
to drink it.
champagne, is it? Read the label.
Well, it looks like champagne.
Is it wet?
Yeah.
Well, it's a mixer. It's a framboise mixer for cocktails.
Okay. Right. I'm Mike Barry.
I'm Bob Duffield.
Kev Slaymaker.
I'm Alan Mallion.
Have a lovely Christmas.
Together we are.
The grumpy old men.
I'm driving home for Christmas.